Welcome back into another quick episode of the Spaceman 2.0 crypto predictive programming show. And within the movies is the programming since 1983 with Matthew Broderick in WARGAMES. I thought it was called 1984 or something. I said in one of my last episode, so I made a mistake. So there it is, WARGAMES, 1983. A team taps his computer into the NORAD missile defense system and plays a video game, Global Thermonuclear War. Okay, with that being said, let's see what the GEMATRIA has to say. This is 1983. Remember, 1988, David Schwartz came up with the distributed ledger system and the internet, so we can use crypto. And I'll just get into that another time. So they're coming in from the cold. I'll just play it at double speed. Looks like a house, right? And then they go down, underground bunker. They go into silos. And these guys are replacing the other two guys. So they come out and they go in. They're deep underground, and they're there to watch the missiles ready to aim for nuclear war. Remember, we were talking about this with the submarines and stuff in one of the Phoenix Truth Rising episodes and one of the last ones. So here we go. They get a code told to them, and okay, so he writes it down. So I figure let's just plug that, the first 8 letters, into GEMATRIA. R-O, I think that's an N-C-T-T-L-A. Well, I listen to it, and I'm going to plug it into GEMATRIA. So R-O-N-C-T-T-L-A. Plug that in, and what do we get? What pops up? RLUSD. What does that stand for? Ripple Labs USD. It's stable coins. Stable coins are coming out in regulation. Oh, what's that? USDT. What this one is going to take over. USDT has been used to pump up Bitcoin lately because it was the main one being used. Tether. USD Tether. But Ripple, also known as Real USD, is seen here. So now back to the show. Okay, as much as there's symbols in movies, there's also hidden words with other words when you plug them into GEMATRIA. Symbols, for instance, in 1994, Johnny Mnemonic, and that one has the ripple symbol, the two, basically like Under Armour, which is also another ripple symbol hidden in plain sight. So these guys are into the war room talking what happened here, why didn't the guys. So when they're forced, okay, so I kind of went too fast there, but those two guys, one guy pulled the gun on him, said pull the trigger or whatever, push the button, because two guys are supposed to push the button to release the missile, because the computer said to release it, but they were trying to get, one guy was saying, no, I don't get a hold of anyone. I want to hear from someone that we're supposed to do this. I'm not just going to kill 20 million people. So he never did it. So now this guy's yelling at this guy saying, no, we got to use AI technology because the guys are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And if we were under attack, we wouldn't been able to respond in time. So that's what they're talking about. So basically you got, this guy is more like the staunch conservative saying, no, I will have men in my silos, not AI technology. And then they use her as stats. Well, if we use men, it takes 6 minutes or something like that. And compared to 8 when they first get in there, and that's too long to respond, blah, blah, blah. And he's saying, no, we've had men in those silos since you've been in pajamas. All right. So he says that right here. Anyways, this is just showing the Zionists against the true people trying to keep everyone safe. But what do they show you? Let me just take a look at the next gematria. So he says, oh, just let me entertain you and show you something we've been working on, right? Because remember, these guys didn't pull the trigger. They didn't fire and kill a bunch of people. Were they doing tests? They didn't know it was a test. So they take him down into this room. Look, what is this guy? He's about to talk about this machine that works 365 days, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It's called the Whopper. What's it called? War Operation Plan Response. So let's just plug that into Gematria and see what we get. So I put Whopper into here. What do we get? Sometimes you got to go down to the English. It's rare that it's in the top one. Whoa, what do we have here? Bitcoin. What do we got there? Dogecoin. It's not financial advice, by the way. I don't personally like those ones. Algorand. That's an ISO coin. ISO 20022. Anything else? Another one. Dogecoin. So we got Bitcoin and money. And what you go now and you can see ATMs spitting out Bitcoin or cash for your Bitcoin. Right there at the convenience store. Even up north, North Bay, Toronto, or Ontario, I mean, even have Bitcoin machines. So back to the movie, so I don't get copyright like I did in my last Simpsons episode, but I was still able to have it out there, thank God. So let's just speed this up. So 1994, Keanu Reeves, Johnny Mnemonic. Okay, let's stop here. Has the ripple symbol in it, and they're wearing masks, showing you the pandemic. So what game is Matthew Broderick playing? I used to play this back in the day at the local bowling alley arcade area inside the bowling alley, Galaga. How many quarters did I put into that machine? So let's see why they would show us him playing Galaga. Okay. One of my favorite games, once again. So let's just plug Galaga into Gematria. And go down a little bit. What do we see there? H bar. Okay, Hedera hash grab, H bar. Another ISO 20022 coin. I never noticed this, but look at the number on his cheek. 1,000. Is that the number can pertain to our favorite crypto going up? Okay, let's just take a look at another section I forgot to show you. But when those guys, okay, changed up, when they changed up and the other guys came in. So as the guys are coming out, they're the only ones dressed in uniform. Okay. And this guy's name is Tucker. So Tucker comes out first. Has a few words with these guys. Oh, you're always late, blah, blah. Okay, so let's just see what Tucker has to say. So I'll put Tucker in there, Gematria. Hope you're not getting bored, but this is fun sometimes. And what do we get right away? SHX. If you don't know what that is, that's Stronghold working with IBM. Okay. So if you don't like it, it's still true. Go check it out. Stronghold. SHX. Very much connected as well with Stellar, I believe. So let's just scroll down quickly, see what it says. Got photons. Remember the photon belt. Check out my Phoenix Truth Rising show for the understanding that. October, what is that? Well, the ETFs are coming in October. XRP ETFs, not financial advice. What do we have there? It says blockchain. Interesting. Right there it says it. Blockchain. Onyx. Onyx is the name of a coin. Not financial advice though. Might be two different Onyx coins out there, so I'm not saying to invest. But if you were to dip your hands into SHX, I wouldn't say no to that. A few dollars, anything you can throw away for coffee, you can throw away into this. It's not financial advice, by the way. Okay, so as these guys change up, what's this guy's name? Bevan. Let's check that out. So Bevan, an interesting name. It's not very used very often. But what do I see here? John McAfee. Yep. Just like what you see, McAfee for your virus and all that stuff on your computer security. Well, supposedly they took him out because he knew too much about Monero, MRX, I believe, which was the only coin out there that was like private. And he's all about privacy and getting away from this. And he didn't pay his taxes, so supposedly they were trying to extradite him from Spain. And on his way, he committed a suicide, murder-side, or something happened. But who knows? Maybe he paid them off. He had billions of dollars. Scythians, aren't they the same ones that have been taken over all the time? Came down through the Caucasus Mountains, invading all the time. Known as part of Genghis Khan and his Huns. But that's for another episode. So certain names pique my curiosity because they stick out. If I went into what's really on that green screen there on the computer, maybe if I Gematria had some more words on that, we get some more. But we can do this all day through the movies. And we don't know what they're planning 30 years in advance, but they do, because they know once they came out with computers back in the 50s and stuff, and what they wanted to do with them with supercomputers, that they're going to eventually have a quantum computer that can do infinite amounts. And they want technology that can actually show you that you can, use it for programmable money. That's what they're getting into with stable coins. You can use it with smart contracts, and then you can have things done without having a middleman in the way. And we'll have all these banking institutions will have 1,000x times more ability to do stuff, just as if you had an AI assistant. So this movie was coming out with, they're saying AI should be used for the computer system to protect us against nuclear war. So he makes fun of him, of course, puts him down. But the next part of this movie shows a lot. Okay, sometimes just watching the commercials as well points out what they're trying to tell you in the movies, because they know what they're telling you secretly in the movies, and then they'll put the commercials that rhyme with those. Okay, everyone's using a phone. Look, a phone. Okay, get paid, right? Using your phone. Okay, talking about crypto basically. Use your phone. Here's another one. Phone. Okay, there's another phone. And what is this one? Oh, we got National Treasure showing you this could be a treasure. Red and blue make purple. Anyways, chime, another one. Another phone. Phone, install. Okay, look at this. Flooring. Oh, here we go. One of my favorites, Expiron. What are the three letters, the three consonants you see there? XPR, it's all purple. I already did this one. XPR. Showing you right there. Use your phone. Okay, and pay. Leveling the playing field. She even says it helps to empower people being able to pay with XPR. Not financial advice, by the way, but this is in the actual, commercials, TV programs. That's why it's called programming, because they're programming you behind the scenes with the truth, even though you can't see it or figure it out. Always the Walking Dead, zombies, zombies, zombies. Anyways, we are the Walking Dead because we're not aware and we're ignorant of the truth, and therefore we are the Walking Dead to these elites. Just remember that. It's too bad, but we are compared to them. So he's using the old phone system. I had this back in the day. This came out in 1983. And a little bit after this, my brother's friend who was older knew how to hack into systems using the phone line. So that's what he's doing right here. Doot, 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 doot. So then he puts that on there and he's able to use his computer to get in. So now we can do this gematria all day and see what it has to really say to us hidden in plain sight, these movies. Here he's hacking into his school. He's changing his class from, the guy gave him an F back then because the teacher was being a whatever to him. So he just hacked in, changed his thing. And he's going into hers saying, look, I can change yours. You want a straight A? Sure. Back in the day, actually, kids were doing this. So my next point is this movie came out 1983, 5 years before 1988, which is when the distributed ledger